Welcome to Design Technology in the Early Years. This is a dedicated presentation for the Flying High Partnership and is delivered by Lawrence Keel. In this recorded presentation, we are going to cover the following: an overview of design technology in early years, guidance for the curriculum in early years, developing a learning environment that supports learning in design technology, developing design technology-based provision in early years, and auditing provision for design technology in the early years. This presentation is designed for school leaders, early years practitioners, and design technology subject leads. From birth, children are constantly interacting with a range of products, whether they be food products that they eat or toys that they play with. For the first 2 years of life, children play by exploring things that are given to them or are in their immediate environment. Gradually, they begin to make choices about them, whether they like the food that they are given or whether they like the toys that they are given to play with. They are already beginning to evaluate products in terms of do they like them, do they like what they do, and do they meet their needs. From the age of 2, children start to become more imaginative and creative by making things using a range of materials and are beginning to develop the skills and techniques needed to create these things. When children begin their formal education in an early years setting, they are provided with more knowledge and new experiences to help them make more informed choices about the products they will make and the skills and techniques that they might use. For subject leaders in design technology and Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 classroom practitioners, it is important to know what the subject looks like in early years and how these foundations of design technology can be built upon in Key Stages 1 and 2. And of equal importance is that early years practitioners know and understand what the subject looks like in Key Stages 1 and 2. So that they are able to plan and provide those learning experiences in the foundation years that will be built upon as children progress through the primary school. It is therefore essential that early years practitioners understand the requirements of the national curriculum and have the design technology subject knowledge to plan for and provide quality learning experiences for the children. We are now going to look at 3 documents that can support curriculum development in early years in terms of design technology. Teaching separate subjects such as design technology is not advocated in early years. Instead, the early years framework covers 7 areas of learning and development and sets out what providers must teach children in their early years settings. All areas of learning and development are important and are interconnected. However, the 3 prime areas of communication and language, physical development, and personal, social, and emotional development are particularly important for learning and forming relationships. They build a foundation for children to thrive and provide the basis for learning in all areas. Providers must also support children in 4 specific areas, which help strengthen and develop the 3 prime areas and ignite children's curiosity and enthusiasm. The specific areas are literacy, mathematics, understanding the world, and expressive arts and design. Children taking part in designing, making, and evaluating activities provide effective development opportunities across all 7 areas of learning. Specific learning and experiences in design technology in early years straddles across the areas of understanding the world and expressive arts and design. If we define technology as everything that has been designed and made by humankind, then understanding this technology, knowing how it works and how it is made, helps children to understand the world around them. Through expressive arts and design, children will explore and use a range of tools, techniques and materials to make things, and will have the opportunity to express their creativity and to explain the processes that they have used. An effective early years setting will already be delivering a range of activities and experiences that lay the foundations for further learning in design technology. However, if early years staff are unfamiliar with the national curriculum requirements for the subject, they may not realise that they are providing these quality opportunities. The second useful document is the set of early learning goals. The level of development children should be expected to have reached by the end of the early years is defined by the early learning goals, which directly link with the 7 areas of learning from the EYFS framework. They should not be used as a curriculum as such, but can be seen as the endpoints and the driver for curriculum development in the early years. On screen are some of the early learning goals that effective provision of design technology activity in early years can support children to achieve. Some examples to illustrate these are: when discussing something that they have made or food that they have prepared, children will have the opportunity to participate in small group, class and one-to-one discussions, offering their own ideas using recently introduced vocabulary. When making a fruit salad by cutting some soft fruit and mixing this fruit with juice, children will be able to manage their own basic hygiene and understand the importance of healthy food choices. Having made a model of an airport using small objects and construction kits, children will have used a range of small tools and will have safely used and explored a variety of materials and techniques. They will have experimented with colour, design, texture, form and function, and will have shared their creations explaining the processes that they have used. Moving on to the third document, Development Matters is non-statutory guidance for early years settings that was first published in 2020 and revised in 2023. It offers guidance for early years practitioners in developing the curriculum in their setting. The document identifies the 3 characteristics of effective teaching and learning, being playing and exploring, children investigating and experiencing things and developing a have-a-go attitude to their learning, active learning, children concentrating and keeping on trying if they encounter difficulties and enjoying their achievements when a task is complete, and creating and thinking critically, children having and developing their own ideas, making links between these ideas and developing strategies for doing things. All 3 are certainly some of the effective strategies that are needed in design technology as children progress through the primary years. Throughout the document, there are examples provided of how these aims can be supported through the early years curriculum. And examples are also provided for each of the 7 areas of learning from the EYFS framework. Here are some examples of how the curriculum can promote children's physical development and how early years practitioners can support this in terms of design technology. And guidance to promote children's understanding of the world around them. And the development of children's artistic and cultural awareness and how this in turn supports their imagination and creativity. To summarise, we have 3 documents that can shape the curriculum in early years and can be used to ensure that design technology-based activities support children's development across all 7 areas of learning. As children progress into Year 1 and beyond, the curriculum becomes more formal and subject-based, and the National Curriculum for Design Technology is used to support curriculum development in key stages 1 and 2. Over the past 10 years, Ofsted has recognised the importance of a continuity curriculum from early years into primary years. Children's experiences of the curriculum in primary schools should be seen as continuous from the beginning of the foundation stage right through to the end of Key Stage 2. Through developing their curriculum, early years settings can create the foundations of learning in design technology that are built upon in both Key Stages 1 and Key Stage 2. For subject leaders in design technology and Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 classroom practitioners, it is important to know what the subject looks like in early years and how these foundations of design technology are built upon in Key Stages 1 and 2. And of equal importance is for early years practitioners to understand what the subject looks like in Key Stages 1 and 2 so that they are able to plan and provide those learning experiences in the foundation years that will be built upon as children progress through the primary school. It is therefore essential that early years understand the requirements of the national curriculum and have the design technology subject knowledge to plan for and provide quality learning experiences for children in the early years settings. We are now moving on to look at how the learning environment is used to lay the foundations for design technology in early years. In early years, it is very much about how the learning environment is set up. Not just the physical environment that the children inhabit, but also the way in which early years practitioners direct and encourage children to be curious, to investigate, to explore, and to create. Research has shown that early years professionals can lack the confidence, subject knowledge, and experiences in developing DT activities in their setting. And this can be an area in which the subject leader can support these practitioners by identifying good practice that can be linked to further learning in design technology. So, for example, when playing with toy cars, this prevents an opportunity to discuss the different types of movement and the way in which the wheels rotate. This will link with mechanical systems that the children will learn about when designing and making wheeled buggies or celebration cars with movable pieces in Key Stage 1. And if children are growing plants and vegetables during their time in early years, it is an opportunity to discuss where food comes from and maybe challenge the children to make a model of a toy farm. Again, this idea of food origins will be explored further in Key Stage 1. Some other examples of how the learning environment can be used to stimulate ideas and thinking related to key knowledge and learning in design technology are on the screen now. In the example on screen, a group of children could be led through a discussion about the toy dumper truck as an opportunity to lay down the foundations for future learning in design technology. Children could discuss the toy that they are playing with and why they have chosen to play with this toy. Asking what does the toy do is an opportunity to introduce the idea of a product having a function or doing a job, or for the children to begin to articulate why they have chosen to engage with this product. This could be followed by specific questioning and discussion about the actual product, linking it to a real-life dumper truck. What is its name? Do the children know the names of any parts of the toy? What materials have been used to make the toy? When discussing toy vehicles and wheels that go round, do they know the names of any other vehicles and their functions, such as a car, a train, an ambulance, or a bike? This is also an opportunity to begin to introduce some technical knowledge about materials, structures, mechanical systems, and about how things move. Extending the discussion, the practitioner could ask the children about whether they would like this toy as a present and encourage them to begin to give reasons for their choices. Or they could be asked who in the group do they think would like a toy truck for their birthday, and again be encouraged to give reasons for their answers. Underpinning all the learning in this activity is children communicating and using language. asking and answering questions, discussing, learning new words, offering ideas, listening to others, and expressing their feelings and viewpoints. So in this activity, we are laying the foundations for learning in Key Stage 1, where children are expected to include a mechanical system such as a wheel and axle into a product they are making, such as a teddy buggy, or to design and make a celebration card that includes a simple lever and moving part. Such in-depth learning relies on early years practitioners' subject knowledge and confidence to lead learning in these areas of design technology. Design technology subject leaders are often asked, how well do you know what's going on in early years in terms of the subject, and how does your design technology curriculum in Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 build upon the children's experiences in early years? The following 2 slides are taken from guidance produced by Cumberland Council for subject leaders on how the learning environment can contribute to effective design technology learning in early years. It is well worth taking a look at if you are visiting your early years setting and what you might expect to see the children doing and what you might expect practitioners to be doing. This document can be downloaded from the Primary DT website. In developing provision for design technology in early years settings, we can divide the provision into 4 main areas: construction, exploration and investigation, using a range of tools, and cooking. Construction is about children making things by joining together and combining different materials such as wooden blocks, sand and mortar, plasticine, and junk materials. It can also be about making small world settings and models using a range of objects, natural materials, and construction kits. This type of activity can be used to allow children to link their learning in design technology to the real world around them. Through building and making things, children will begin to develop knowledge about different materials and their properties and the different techniques that can be used to join materials together. Children should also have the opportunity to build and construct with large blocks and crates, and to use their imagination to make cars and rockets to play in, whilst also using construction kits such as Lego or stickle bricks to make smaller models. Both types of activity support their physical development and motor skills. When working with textiles and fabrics, children could learn a simple running stitch to join 2 pieces of fabric together to create a simple hand puppet or bag. Or just through using textiles in creative work such as collage, they will begin to appreciate the properties of some textiles and fabrics. Children can use recyclable materials when junk modelling to make models of things in real life using different materials, tools and techniques. And this also provides an opportunity to develop their problem-solving skills. In all these construction activities, children should be encouraged to make things for a purpose and to build, evaluate and refine and improve their creations before developing the idea of changing things as they construct them. Throughout the early years setting, children should also be given the opportunity to investigate and explore by providing them with opportunities to dismantle and take things apart. This can be achieved through having a designated workshop area or through tinker tables where children are encouraged to take things apart and to see how they are made or how they work. Over the course of time, children can be provided with the opportunity to handle and feel products made from different materials to begin to understand their properties and how these properties affect how the products are used. This will lead to children exploring different materials, developing their ideas about how to use them and what can be made from them. Children can also be provided with real-life environments for them to explore and play in on a small scale and to make sense of the world around them. By setting up a cafe or a supermarket and allowing children to begin to discuss and understand healthy food choices and eating lots of fruit and vegetables. Or by setting up a small garage to allow children to explore and play with vehicles, understand how they move, and pretend to repair them with toy tools. To begin with, these types of activities may be quite adult-led, but as children progress through early years, they should be less guided by adults and be more imaginative and independent in their exploration. Encouraging investigation lays the groundwork for future learning around evaluating existing products, materials and their properties, understanding mechanical systems and how they make things work. The third area is through providing children with guided cooking opportunities. Through guided cooking activities, children are beginning their learning journey in developing cooking skills and techniques and also building their knowledge through exploring food, its taste, its texture and its appearance. As they explore different foods, they are beginning to develop a taste vocabulary. Again, this will be developed as they progress further through the curriculum. In early years, children should have the opportunity to use cooking utensils to mix and combine food and learn simple skills such as mixing, stirring, pouring, weighing, when making cakes and other simple food products. Through these types of activities, they will develop an understanding that food is a product that can be made. They will develop knowledge of the names of some fruit and vegetables and other common ingredients used in their cooking activities. Children could take part in simple guided food preparation activities such as cutting soft fruits and vegetables that are then used to make a fruit salad or a vegetable soup. Cooking in early years is also an opportunity to introduce some basic hygiene rules for the children to practice when working with food. Such activities lay the foundations for further learning about cooking and nutrition in key stages 1 and 2. Through constructing, exploring, investigating and working with food, children will begin to use an increasing range of tools and equipment. They will learn their names and what they are used for. They will begin to learn which tools are associated with making using different materials and techniques. They will use various tools and techniques to contribute to their physical development and in particular their gross and fine motor skills. Through using a range of tools across a variety of activities, children will begin to develop their mathematical skills in measurement, counting, calculating and their awareness of size and shape. Eventually, they will combine these skills to begin to develop an awareness of choosing the right tool for the right job in hand. And central to all these activities is the children discussing their learning, encouraging them to ask challenging questions and developing and extending their vocabulary, particularly if practitioners can begin to introduce some simple technical vocabulary to the children and explain their meaning. As mentioned earlier, in an effective early years setting, this is all likely to be taking place, but sometimes just needs to be teased out and seen in the perspective of effective learning in design technology and included in any curriculum documentation for design technology. As part of the package of support for schools in the Flying High Partnership, they are being given the opportunity to self-evaluate their curriculum provision for design technology. Section 2 of the audit focuses on early years and design technology. The complete audit can be downloaded from the Primary DT website. Use these audit questions and the content from this presentation to identify the strengths and weaknesses within the early years setting in terms of how children are prepared in early years for future learning in design technology. Further presentations and support documents are available from the Primary DT website and the page specifically for schools in the Flying High Partnership. Thank you for taking time to listen to this presentation by Lawrence Kill. We hope you have found it useful.